Welcome back to Romanovich Auto Surgeon. We are back at it, and today, as you can see, this 2017 Acura MDX, we are diving underneath this thing. We are finally going to be giving it a brand new fresh oil change. It's pretty much ready for service, so let's go ahead and dive right in and show you how it's done. We're going to show you all the steps to draining all the fluid, steps to removing the oil filter and replacing it, and refilling it, and one of the most satisfying moments, resetting it inside the vehicle. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, I believe we have everything we need. We have our oil. Today we will be using Valvoline full synthetic 0W20. That's what it calls for. It calls for about 5.7 up to 6 quarts. So went ahead and bought the extra. There's our filter. Here's our drain oil pan, and just in case we get dirty. This side over here we have a breaker bar. I tried to remove this oil filter, and it was really rough to get it off. I use a special even tool. I'll try to put a picture right here, and it was just a little too big. I've used other pliers for this, but hopefully today we'll be able to actually remove it because it was really hard. Got our jack stand. We're going to pick it up with our jack, put a stand underneath, and take this wheel off. Make sure you don't forget your special key for one of your lug nuts, otherwise you will not be able to remove it, and these call for a 22mm socket. So let's go ahead and get this wheel off. Alright, so here we go. The wheel is off. Yes, we had to get our inspector over here. He had to make sure everything's going well. So here's the filter itself. It's nice. It has an opening over here. And this splash guard is not in the way. So we're going to try to remove it. Last time did not work. So today, this is what I'm using. This channel lock. It's huge. Hopefully we'll get around it. It definitely has plenty of size for it. So I think we can... what can we do, Zeke? What do you think? What can we do? But yeah, so let's go ahead and try to put it on there and see if it'll come off. It shouldn't be too difficult anymore since we're doing it with this big thing. I've tried it with my hands. I've tried it with a special key like I showed you up here, and a special one with like a rubber band strap on it, and it would not come off. So I believe this will work. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to go ahead and puncture this with a flathead and just turn it with a flathead or something. I don't know, but let's go ahead and get it off. All right guys, so here's the setup. It's running like that. I'm trying to grab it on the bottom piece where it has a little bit more material, so let's go ahead and try to turn it. Oh yeah, perfect. It is turning. Let's go ahead and throw our board under here just to make sure we don't drip any of the oil anywhere else, and let's get this off. All right, so after I popped it off, just started it with the channel locks. I was easily able to twist it with my hand. There we go. Got a little bit of spill on the lower control arm, but that's no big deal at all. We'll wipe it down right after we put a new filter on. Make sure this O-ring is off and not still on there. Otherwise, that can cause leaks. There we go. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more and go ahead and show you guys the new oil filter. Here it is. Let's go bring it over here. Inspector resting up. All right, here we go. There's that. Well, look at that. It just flew off. That's the one I'm using today. It's pretty good. All right, so there we go. We got the new seal on there. You want to make sure that's on there. Otherwise, it's not going to make a good mating surface, and it will cause leaks. So what now we have to do is actually take some of this oil and actually pour it in there and lube up the O-ring all the way around. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and then we'll clean whatever we have excess over there and then slide it on, and then we will be done pretty much with this part of the filter. So here we go. Gonna fill it up a little bit. You don't want to go all the way full, because then it's gonna probably spill whenever you go to actually fill it. So just fill it up halfway, let it soak down, because it has to fill those holes in there, and after that it should be good. So here we go. We're gonna take some oil onto our finger. If you don't want to do our finger, you could do it on a glove. I'm a grease monkey, so I don't really mind. There you go. We're just gonna go all the way around and lube it up really nice. Make sure it's not dry, because it can make it crack. We don't want that. We want this to last the whole time. Look at this little guy. He's falling asleep while I speak. My voice must be so soothing. All right, so there we go. We got it all lubed up. Let's go ahead and clean the rest of that surface, where the oil filter mates with the car. We should be good. So let's go ahead and clean it up just a little bit more. There we go. That should be plenty. All right, so now we're just gonna go take the filter, put it on here, and screw it on. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, same exact as all regular bolts. And there it goes. Now I don't know why the old one was on there so rough and tight. It should not be on there that tight, because you know, then it prevents you from being able to take it off. But right there, that should be plenty perfect. Just a nice hand tight. Even if you want to take a rag and tighten it a little bit more with a rag, that'll help, or just do it with two hands. But you do not want to do it with like a really serious tool, because that'll really mess it up. So we're done here. Let's go ahead and move on towards flushing the rest of the fluid. So under the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and locate our drain plug for our oil. There it is. Should be on the passenger side. There you go. I'll say oil, engine, bam. Or engine oil, however you want to read it. And there's that nut. Every nut is different. This turns out to be a 17. So we're going to use a 17. Make sure not to strip it. So let's go ahead and undo that real quick. Let's see how hard this one will be. Hopefully it won't be as hard as that one was. Let's see, lefty loosey. Okay, so it is on there. So let me put this camera down before I drop it and take it off. All right, so a lot of people don't believe that you can get your hands not dirty when taking this oil plug off. Prove them wrong real quick. This is how you do it right here. Bam. Clean as a whistle, except that you can still get it clean, but let's go ahead and drain the rest and close it all up. So while that is draining, we do want to go up under the hood, open it up, take the engine cover off. Careful, it is hot. Now if it's cool, that's not a good idea. You want to go take it for a spin real quick before you start this whole process. You want to make sure the oil is nice and warm. That way it flows very nicely out. You want to pop the cap off for where you would fill it, giving it maximum flow for you to drain the oil so much faster. So let's go. I'm going to wait till that finishes draining, and now I'm going to show you the next process. Alright, so we just cleaned off our drain plug. It is in mint condition. Usually you want to replace the crush washer. There you go. And if it's really worn out, this one actually looks in really good condition. Since the car has really low miles, that's going to be perfectly fine to reuse it. But we will definitely be replacing it next time. So what you want to do now, since it's finished draining, you want to go ahead and wipe off the area. Make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure you get all that excess. And then what we're going to do is actually take the lug nut, not the lug nut, the drain bolt, put it back in. Our best if we can. There we go. Gosh, that took a second. There we go. Now put it in, snug it up. Don't want to do it over. Don't want to tighten it too much because it is very easy to strip. So let's go ahead and tighten that up and get back up top. Okay, so pretty much we are 100% done underneath. Now what we got to do is one of the most exciting parts is filling the actual fluid in. So here's a funnel. It is a long one. I want to make sure I get it all the way down in there because it's pretty deep. I don't want to be, you know, tipping something all the way up top here. If you don't have one of these or you don't have the money, you could probably use like a old 2-3 gallon jug of water or Coke or whatever, and put it in there. Make sure it's obviously clean. Cut the bottom off and then pour it in and you should be fine. So let's go ahead and pour in the rest of this fluid over here. Get this oil over here. We'll do all we're gonna do 5.5, let it sit for a few, and then fill it again for the rest. There we go. Obviously you want to make sure that you don't have any spills or anything. Make sure your filter and everything else is on there tight. We'll do a startup, make sure, do a walk around, make sure it's not leaking out anywhere. Alright, so I'm filled the majority of that big canister already in there. I'm going to let it go ahead and drain. What I'm going to do is put this wheel back on and make sure it's all sitting level. That way we can hopefully check it. Here's our dipstick. A lot of the newer vehicles don't have a dipstick, so we are lucky to have one. I know like Audi and I think even Ford now, they don't do a dipstick. So let's go ahead and put the wheel on and wait for it to drain down. Wheel back on, check, removed our jack, and now make sure to put the key back in there, put it back inside your glove box, that way you don't forget it. Now let me set you guys up and show you guys how to do this dipstick type of deal. All right, so let's see if I can. All right, so now that we have filled most of the fluid up, we're going to take the dipstick out, clean it off, put it back down for a new reading. Need some persuasion. All good. There we go. And wait for a couple seconds. Let it fill up that dipstick. All right, we should be able to pull it out. See the right reading. All right, it is just a hair above the full line. Let me try to show it to you. See if you can see that. Just a hair over it. So we're gonna leave it at that for now. Let the car drive for about 2 days, maybe 3. Come back, check it again, and then we can fill it to the perfect, because I'm sure it's gonna go into some of the areas where it hasn't drained. So I think we are in perfect condition. Let's go ahead and remove our funnel. Make sure you don't drip it anywhere, because you know, oil, I don't know if it'll stain. It might stain some of these areas, so you don't want to do that. Plus it'll just be dirty, so make sure to get that closed up. Now we can put our engine cover back on. Here we go. Perfect. This has rubber mounts, so just push down. There we go. All right, now the favorite part from all of this. Time to get in the vehicle, reset the oil. Let's go and start it back up. All right, sounds nice and smooth. Let's see if we can go through all these settings. Trying to remember how to do it right there when that's all we need. Let's close the door. All right, so it wants that. So how do we choose it? Okay, vehicle settings. All right, meter setup, drive position. Let's keep going. till we see, oh, maintenance info. There we go. Now maintenance info, there you go. The first one comes up is maintenance reset service B1. B1 is the actual oil, as you can see right there on the bottom, right there. And there you go. It says 5%, so it's kind of low. So we're gonna go scroll down, and I'm using this whole time to select. You just press it down to move it up and down. You just roll it. So there you go. There's reset or cancel. We want to reset, so we're just gonna click it and reset complete. Okay, now let's see if we can go back into it. And there you go. It says 100%. So perfect. She is ready to drive. Very awesome. Now, if you like this little video, this little informative video, how to do an oil change on this one, I have a bunch of other builds on my channel, like how-to tutorials. I'm doing body work, rebuilding vehicles that are wrecked, doing paint work, and I'm sure there are some things that you'll be able to find on there that intrigue your interest. So make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell to stay tuned to other builds that are coming your way, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.